The massive vessel hung motionless above New Karachi's harbor, its obsidian hull drinking in the pale moonlight like a cosmic void. For 3 standard weeks, the derelict ship had maintained its silent vigil, defying both gravity and explanation. The alien species that comprised the Galactic Trade Federation had tried everything: long-range scans, automated probes, even volunteer expeditions. All had failed. The ship's energy field disabled electronics at 50 meters and induced crippling fear in any non-human who approached. Baris Rahman stood on the harbor's edge, salt spray stinging his weathered face as he studied the looming anomaly. The 40-year-old salvage operator had seen stranger things in his 15 years working the trade routes, but nothing quite like this. Behind him, the port buzzed with frustrated alien merchants, their cargo ships grounded until the mysterious vessel could be cleared from the shipping lanes. "The energy readings are off the charts," came a familiar mechanical voice. Unit 47, or Maliha as Baris had nicknamed her years ago, rolled up beside him on her maintenance treads. The service android's optical sensors whirred as they focused on the ghost ship. Quantum signatures suggest it's from beyond our galaxy, possibly extra-dimensional. Baris nodded grimly. He'd known Maliha for 7 years, ever since he'd found her damaged and abandoned in a scrapyard on Kepler Station. Against all logic, he'd spent his savings repairing her, giving her a home and purpose aboard his salvage vessel. Now their roles were about to reverse. The Federation's offering 10 million credits to anyone who can board that thing and shut down whatever's keeping it here, Maliha continued, her vocal processors carrying an undertone of concern. But every species that's tried has fled in terror. The Threnodi said it felt like death itself was reaching into their minds. "Humans are different," Baris said, checking his EVA suit one final time. "Fear doesn't control us the same way. Sometimes we're too stubborn to know when we should be afraid." 3 hours later, Baris found himself in the cramped cockpit of his modified cargo shuttle, rising toward the ghost ship. The Federation had cleared the airspace, and dozens of alien vessels watched from a safe distance as the lone human approached the mysterious craft. At 40 meters, his instruments began to flicker. At 30, they died completely. But Baris felt something else. A presence pressing against his mind like ice-cold fingers, trying to dig into his deepest fears and drag them screaming into the light. Images flashed unbidden: his father's death, his failed marriage, the crushing loneliness of deep space. "Not today," he muttered through gritted teeth, forcing his hand steady on the manual controls. "I've got a debt to pay." The ghost ship's hull loomed before him, seamless and perfect except for a single airlock that seemed to beckon like an open mouth. Baris guided his shuttle into the docking port, feeling the mysterious vessel's artificial gravity take hold with a bone-deep shudder. Inside, emergency lighting cast everything in hellish red. The corridors were eerily familiar, human in design but wrong somehow, as if built by something that had studied humanity from a distance and missed crucial details. The walls curved at unnatural angles and the air tasted of ozone and regret. Baris followed the corridor deeper into the ship, past empty rooms and silent machinery. The presence in his mind grew stronger, showing him visions of failure and death, but human stubbornness served him well. He'd promised Maliha he would fix this, just as she'd helped him fix his life years ago. The bridge was a cathedral of twisted metal and pulsing conduits. At its center sat a throne-like chair occupied by something that might once have been human. The figure's skin was translucent, showing veins that pulsed with dark energy. When it turned toward Baris, its eyes were black holes in a gaunt face. "Why do you not flee?" it asked in a voice like grinding glass. "I am the sum of all human despair, collected from across the cosmos. I am what your species becomes when hope dies." Baris stepped forward, his boots echoing in the vast chamber. "Maybe you're what some humans become, but not all of us." The entity's laugh was like breaking bones. "I have fed on the fears of 1,000 species, grown strong on their terror. What makes you think you can resist where they failed?" "Because I'm not here for myself," Baris said, reaching for the central control console. "I'm here because I owe someone, and humans always pay their debts." The entity lunged from its throne, becoming a writhing mass of shadow and spite. It wrapped around Baris like living darkness, flooding his mind with every moment of pain and loss he'd ever experienced. But beneath it all, he held on to one memory: a damaged android in a scrapyard, and his decision to help rather than profit. His hand found the console's emergency shutdown, and for a moment nothing happened. Then the ship shuddered, its lights flickering as whatever force sustained it began to fail. The entity's scream split the air, and Barris felt its grip on reality loosening. "This changes nothing," it hissed as it faded. "Humanity's capacity for despair is infinite. I will return." "Maybe," Barris said, pulling himself upright. "But so is our capacity to choose hope." The ghost ship began its descent toward the harbor, its mysterious power finally broken. Through the viewport, Barris could see Federation vessels moving to surround them, and in the distance his shuttle waited with Maliha's signal beacon flashing a welcome message. As the rescue teams boarded and the entity's influence finally dissipated, Barris smiled. The galaxy had learned something important today, that humans weren't fearless, they were something far more dangerous. They were the species that chose to act despite their fears, especially when someone they cared about was counting on them. And sometimes that made all the difference. The debt was paid.